Well, I've been in prison since I was 16. I'm 34 now.
Providing prisoners with college opportunities is not a popular idea.
Why don't we teach college in prison?
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo introduced a plan to publicly fund college programs in 10 state prisons. It faced opposition from both parties and was quickly shot down. Research indicates that prisoners who participate in correctional post-secondary education are 51% less likely to be reincarcerated. It's too soon to know if this program will be successful because only 36 men have participated. 7 of these 12 students have been released, and 6 are already enrolled in college or are applying for admission. Only 1 is back in prison.
My father passed away when I was 7. He was killed due to gun violence. You know, I was maybe 7 feet away. I seen him take his last breath. The last words I heard from his mouth was, "Little Craig, I'm his junior." As they was trying to get him in the ambulance, he was fighting to try to get to me. Everything was good when my father was alive. Before he died, he was a cement truck driver and, you know, the security of the family. My mother was in school. Once my father passed away, though, then my mother started abusing crack cocaine, drugs. I got loose and was allowed to get loose because everybody felt sorry for what happened, that they didn't keep that same grip on me to keep me in check as he would have. I started developing like behavior problems, fighting. I think from her eyes, it became a shameful thing. She would get high, come in the house 3, 4 in the morning, pull us out the bed in our underwears because our high had her believing the house was on fire, pull us in the street, pull a fire alarm. Someone in '89, while I was 10, called BCW, Bureau of Child Welfare, and told them what my mother was doing as far as dragging us out the house, and they came, investigated, and they placed us in a group home. As I hit like pre-teenage, 12 years old, is when I started selling drugs and started skipping classes. I had first got arrested at 12 and had to do 18 months in Ella McQueen in Brooklyn, Best Stop, for a drug charge. At 16 is when I committed a crime that I deeply regret. You know, a crime that's hard to discuss as I get older. And that was the beginning of my 18 years in prison, from 16 to 34. Yeah.
I was at home, I was sleeping, when the policemen arrived home and they began to knock the door and they say, levanta tus manos.
Hands up.
Hands up. First picture that I had in my mind of that moment is my father on the floor. They said, you are guns and you are extortionists. They were asking for 25 years from me. They tried to make down my sentence, and I remember the judge say, okay, 10 years. Well, it was a lot of years for me, but we we keep trying to show that I did nothing. And the judge said, okay, 5 years, and then 5 years and a half, and that was my sentence, 5 years and a half.
I didn't have life easy. I lost my mother when I was very young. The next mother I had, my stepmother, would not even want to see me with the eyes in the house. So I suffered a lot, and because of that, I'm hardened. I've been hardened through suffering.
Sono nato in Ucraina. Il mio padre era un colonnello militare, quindi durante l'Unione Sovietica si spostava molto in Russia diversi anni, ho vissuto diversi anni in Russia. Posso ricordare che forse la lingua madre è metà tra ucraino e russo. Caduto il muro di Berlino e successivamente un anno dopo Ucraina ha acquisito l'indipendenza. Ci siamo fermati con la famiglia in Ucraina, così ho affrontato tutta la scuola superiore, collegio, università. Sono lavorato in radiotecnica. Non riuscivo magari ad ambientarmi con il lavoro, ma è un punto secondario perché 8 mesi prima che mi sono laureato è morto mio padre in un incidente stradale. Le mie condizioni, il mio mondo, la mia visione del mio mondo, questo mi ha portato un po' mi ha portato fuori i binari. Ho scelto di venire in Italia, ovviamente non si è cambiata più di tanto la situazione tra me e il mondo, un po', no? Dopo un anno che sono stato in Italia, fumavo alcolici anche lavorando, e una sera con i ragazzi è successa una colluttazione con altri ragazzi e abbiamo ucciso un ragazzo. Poi dopo sono stato arrestato per concorso d'omicidio e in Italia sono arrivato circa 12 anni fa, scontato già quasi 11 anni.
Para mi punto de vista no tenía una real figura de parentalidad que me pudiera marcar límites, ya que ellos ambos no estaban. Más que nada por el lapso de horas que mamá no estaba, porque uno se entraba a las 8 de la mañana, salía a las 4 de la tarde de clase, pero habían 2 horas a 3 horas que quedamos solos, solamente posteriormente a eso mi hermana mayor, Carolina, se pudo hacer cargo de nosotros. Mi hermana no era para mí una figura de autoridad. Creo que ahí es donde fue mi pequeño cambio que tuve, porque yo anteriormente mi niña era súper tranquila, súper light. Una mala lección yo creo de la vida me llevó también a delinquir. Se me cambió el mundo entero.
"5 years for a loaf of bread." Yes. A bottle of Coke for 2 years, and the guy died in prison, in whole prison. 2 years, bottle of Coke. These are the kind of absurd sentences we have in Ghana. A small room, 6 meters by 6 meters, was housing about 85 to 90 inmates. So you can just imagine. Conditions were horrible at that time. I don't know what is happening now, but it was very horrible. It was when I reached the prison and I saw the conditions, saw the youth whose time were being wasted, they were not doing anything. This shouldn't be the case. There should be a way whereby these people can get educated even right in the prison. Nobody shared it with me because the prison officers would not even believe that such a thing could happen. However, I told them, look, even if you are incarcerated, you still have your right to education. A direct opposition even came in. No, you can't do that in prison. But I said, is there any law that I can do it? There's no law. So I started gradually. Anybody who calls himself or herself a student, we make you to know that as a student, your life should be different from those others in the yard. These are supposed to be criminals, and you are trying to educate them. And then also they know that if they get education and then they go outside, they'll be useful citizens for themselves, their family, and the society at large. We manage to put this in their heads so they know that they are not there just to learn and go, but they are just there to transform their lives when they get out. The 10 years that I ran the school, no single student, no single past student ever came back to prison. The interior minister came and met me in the classroom teaching social studies. He was so impressed. He tested the students and they answered the question, and then he promised that he would give us a school block. That's a school block. That means standing in front of the school block. Classrooms for all the courses. This is what came out of a small beginning.
So the education inside the center, I feel it was a part in my life where I feel like now it's losing. So it exists opportunities here too. So in the environment, it was really bad, it was really hard, but it had opportunities. I was studying in the university when Contextos arrived. I didn't like to read, and I believe that Contexto did a big change in my life that made me think in other things that I can do by myself. In my study, I was talking about myself. I was talking about my family. I was talking about the process that I was throwing. I want to finish my career, then get a master in social work, but I want to study another things too. In another programs, how can improve the programs that the young people have in the detention center, because I love this environment because I was involved, but now I want to help them. I can improve myself through writing. I can out my feelings, my experience. I am be able to write it, and other people can read it. They can get inspired, and they can write their studies, and they can make a change in their life and the life and another people.
I was placed in solitary confinement for 18 months. Somebody sent me a book catalog called BBP, and I started going down the list. Start seeing all these revolutionary books. A book came across my hands. The name of the book was called Finding the Third Eye. It really had me questioning myself. It helps you look at you. As I started reading these books and started getting more in tune with myself, I was able to reach out to some people that I felt like I let down, including the victim in my case, family. And I was able to express myself more. Writing became my way of communicating. I seen the flyer about the Prison to College Pipeline program. When they said free, I was like, what? All right. Why not? All I think I gotta do is write. Why not? I passed it. And that kind of like put me in a whole different space, a whole different energy.
Did you ever think you'd be a published poet?
I'm a strong believer that it doesn't matter what your past is, what you're dedicated to, and what you're trained to do, like you're passionate about, it's going to get done. Education breaks gaps. Period. Education breaks gaps. You learning together, you growing together. When you growing together, you live together. No matter what your uniform is.
L'università dà la possibilità di rimettersi in gioco, rifarsi, riproporre di più o anche qualcosa che l'hai preso, restituire. L'università è un luogo migliore in assoluto di poter fare questo tipo di la mia su me stesso, su quello che ho fatto io.
Mi forma de pensar, como mirar el futuro, era totalmente distinto, porque ellos siempre preguntaban, ¿y tú después de aquí qué es lo que vas a hacer? No sé, lo mejor posible, o sea, estudiar, trabajar, no sé, pero yo acá no vuelvo. Reparar el daño que había causado anteriormente y también devolver algo de orgullo a la familia, porque igual fui el único hijo que prácticamente lo dejé súper mal. En general, la oveja negra de la familia, como se dice aquí en Chile, soy yo, o sea, y tapar todo eso, y lo tapando, me fui creyendo en cada uno de los talleres que podía.
In our classroom, we feel like we are in the outside world. We do our research, assignments, recitation, just like an ordinary student. Through education, if you are a degree holder, you can look at that job, a decent job that sustained the needs of your family. I came here not an inmate, but I came here as a student. To be honest, I wear my ID, and at the same time, my name is listed as a student. I will do everything to pursue my academic.
Can you share a poem? Do you have any on you? I know you must have some in there.
Education is freedom. Education is freedom in the sense that it cannot be caged. Thoughts and ideas cannot be caged. I believe it will liberate us from ignorance and help decrease, if not stop, the cycle of criminality. I observed that most of the inmates here at Davao City Jail did not finish their studies or have not received or have no educational data at all. That is where education parent bars come in. It will help inmates who are enrolled in the program to better themselves, to train them for job, interview, and social skills that are needed to survive in society. Education is the key to put to a halt or minimize the recidivism rate of inmates. This also gives us an opportunity to redeem ourselves and to give justice to the people who are helping us while we are being incarcerated. To stop the lock them up and throw away the key mentality. Because it is we, people who are inside jails, that mostly need education. Because education will be the one that can break the shackles that binds us to the cells that divide us.
When I first began to study in prison, like when you come to prison, you get in a lot of stuff, you become a gang member and everything. Now I was in a section where it was called like the headquarters. Even the members, they call it the headquarters. Now I'm telling now the guys, now I'm going to go to the school section. And it was like, no. You can't go to the school section. Why? Because we need you. And now I'm like, no man, I'm supposed to go to school. I mean, I told you last year that I'm supposed to go. So we get into so much struggle, even to study in prison. And there's now an obstacle where they say, no, we need you. You can't go. You can't go to that section. But you have to fight for what you believe in. Because I'm here today because I fought for what I believe in.
I'm from a place called Mosobe. It's about 500 k's from here, I think, roughly. And he never saw me, he last saw me like 4 years back. When he first saw me, he was like, nah, it's not me, I've changed. And I love that because like, really? I've changed? He said, yeah, you changed, man. And what I told him was, okay, what I gained was confidence, you know? I knew who I was. So yeah, thanks for the comment, man. It wasn't bad for me, it was actually something good because when people start seeing me now, they see a whole different image, a whole different Awande. And now, seeing a whole different Awande, they would like to know what happened. And I will tell them what happened. Education happened.
So I've got writings here from prisons all over the world from students, and I'm going to pass them around. You can take one, and then we'll go around and you can share with the group sort of what of this resonates with you.
I was reading from Women in Brazil. I think it's female inmates. And what I realized is that it seems their situations are very similar to us because it sounds like maybe the reason that they committed this crime is because of poverty. And that's why I say it's a very powerful thing to read. that somewhere halfway across the world, people are having the same problem or had the same problem that we had. You know, look at prison. We've lost our freedom. Our dignity to a certain extent is limited. A lot of things are limited, but the one thing that is unlocking a lot of doors for us, you know, to be sitting here with people from like literally halfway across the world is the education.
Thank you, boy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mkhagaza, as it appears there at the back. I'm also an incarcerated student.
I'm here to tell you why I choose education, whereas I'm here in prison.
Education for me is a compass. It has pointed me in the right direction.
Standing here before you today, I am empowered as an individual, as a person.
When I look at myself in the mirror today, I don't see a convict, right? Or an inmate, but someone who's been given a second chance in life. And I think through education, I've tried to propel myself in that direction.
In life there will be struggles, fake friends and family that's supposed to love you, issues we would go through, questions of faith as the world hits home, and our inner pain equates to the feeling of being alone. Remember that the breed within this gathering provides a home away from home. As a man who stands on principles, to the whole entire prison and college pipeline staff, from those who got me here to the college mentors who helped me get to where I'm going, thank you for helping me bring out the best of me.